Welcome, dear listeners, to another spine-chilling episode of Half Haunted. I'm Candi, your host, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Raji. Hello, Raji.
Good day to you. Hello, everybody.
Good day, good day. Today we're taking a magical and eerie journey to the happiest places on Earth. Yes, we're talking about Disney parks. Behind the fairy tale and the magic lies a world of mystery, tragedy, and ghost stories that continue to intrigue guests and cast members alike. From haunting whispers of Dolly's dip to the lingering spirit of Walt Disney himself, the 9 Disney park ghost stories will leave you enchanted and maybe just a little unsettled. So grab your Mickey ears and maybe a flashlight. We're going ghost hunting in the Magic Kingdom.
Yay!
Let's begin in Disneyland on the Matterhorn bobsleds, where one section of the track is famously and ominously called Dolly's Dip. In 1984, Regina Dolly Young tragically fell from her bobsled and was struck by another, leading to her untimely death. Cast members say her presence still lingers in the area, reporting sensations of being watched, unexplained noises during the nightly walkthroughs. Is Dolly's spirit tied to the place where she lost her life, or is it the weight of the tragic accident that keeps the story alive? Dolly Young fell from her seat on the Matterhorn bobsleds in 1984, resulting in her death. The exact cause of her seatbelt coming undone has never been determined. The location where she fell is now known by this name among cast members. Cast members report feeling watched during, like I said, walk through. Sounds have been heard in the area of Dolly's Dip, fueling ghost stories. Many believe Dolly's spirit may linger on the site of her tragic death. The story combines verified tragedy with tales of haunting that have grown over the years. Stringent. Dolly's accident highlights the importance of stringent safety measures at amusement parks. Dolly's Dip remains a point of intrigue for those curious about Disneyland's history and supernatural tales. While many accounts of the hauntings are unverified, they tribute to the eerie mystique of the Matterhorn ride.
Wow.
I've never even heard of Dolly's Dip before.
No?
That's interesting.
Right?
Been on the Matterhorn, but I've never even didn't even know about that. That's crazy.
I would like to see the real Matterhorn. Switzerland.
Yeah, me too.
That's where we got it.
That'd be nice. One of the Disneyland's darker stories, we move to the legend that's both comforting and mysterious, the lingering presence of Walt Disney himself. Above the Main Street firehouse sits Walt's private apartment, where a light burns perpetually in his honor. But cast members tell of times when this light flickers or turns on by itself. Even some report the faint smell of cigarette smoke, one of Walt's signature habits. Is this a technical glitch, or Walt's way reminding us that his vision lives on? A 500 square foot space above the Main Street firehouse where Walt stayed during the park's early days, a lamp in the apartment's window stays perpetually lit as a tribute to Walt, inspired by cast members' reported interaction with an unexplained voice saying, "I'm still here." Guests and cast members have claimed to see Walt's apparition, including near the great moments of Mr. Lincoln Theater and the Disneyland Castle. A smoky scent attributed to Walt's cigarette habit has been reported in backstage areas he frequents. Stories of a smiling man who waves and disappears have been linked to Walt, reinforcing his malevolent association with the park. Paranormal investigators and visitors have shared accounts of encounters with a figure resembling Walt in areas tied to his time at Disneyland. These legends reflect the deep connection between Walt Disney and the park he envisioned, symbolizing his lasting impact. Walt's apartment, now part of Beyond the Scenes tour, allows fans to glimpse a part of the personal Disneyland experience. The stories of Walt's continued presence mirror the magic and nostalgia that define Disneyland as a symbol of dreams. And the light in Walt's apartment remains a powerful symbol of his guiding vision for Disneyland.
Oh.
I've heard people say that they've seen him around there. I mean, makes sense. We're named after him, Disneyland. Walt Disney.
The Boy in the Haunted Mansion. I haven't been. You know what? I would like to do the Haunted Mansion at Halloween time. Haven't been there, but I enjoy the Haunted Mansion. Anyway, now we venture into the Haunted Mansion. According to one story, a grieving mother scattered her son's ashes inside the ride without permission. Ever since, ghosts report hearing a boy crying for his mother. Over at Disney World, a ghostly child was captured on camera peering from a doom buggy, though no such child was present. Whether urban legend or real-life mystery, this tale adds an extra layer of chills to the ride's supernatural.
That's wild.
I mean,
I knew that place was haunted because every time I would go there as a kid, I'm like,
World or Disneyland?
Creepy. The one in Disneyland is creepy.
Yeah, because
I've been to Disneyland in California.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Now we're over at Disney World in Florida. A guest claims to have captured an unexplained image of a boy in a haunted mansion, visible only through infrared photography. Disney officially denies allowed ash scattering in its parks, though the rumor persists. Several tales of ghostly figures and ash scattering rituals are linked to other Disney rides and parks. The Florida photo intrigues paranormal enthusiasts, though it lacks definitive verification. Whether real or fictional, these tales deepen the haunted mansion's mystique and guest engagement. Stories like these tie into broader narratives of haunted attractions and unexplained phenomena. The California story reflects themes of grief and longing, adding to poignant touch of the tale. These stories continue to thrive, passed down by park visitors and online communities. The Haunted Mansion remains a focal point for eerie tales, enriching the reputation as a place where the line between fantasy and the supernatural blurs. Now, I know they don't want you blowing dead people's ashes around. Oh, I get that. But you're stupid to be putting things on rides where other people are. I can understand if you're over there in the bushes next to the trash can on the bench. You're like, oh, I missed the trash, because they're going to water the bushes. It's going in the earth or whatever. But to be sitting on, what do you call it?
On the
ride.
The roller coaster.
And we're all the most ashes like cocaine. That ain't cute. I'm sorry. I had a moment. We're going elsewhere. Debbie Stone, the Guardian of America. This ghost story comes from the former America Sings attraction, where an 18-year-old Debbie Stone tragically died in a rotating theater accident in 1974. Since then, cast members have claimed to hear a voice softly warning, "Be careful," when near the dangerous area. This story is both heartbreaking and uplifting, portraying Debbie as a protective spirit watching over her fellow employees. Debbie Stone died in a workplace accident at Disneyland's America Sings attraction in 1974. Yes, we know this all right. Her death prompted safety upgrades, including warning lights and breakaway walls. Let me tell you something. There better be some "It's a Small World" hard in these, for me to read or whatever, because seriously, I don't remember ever hearing of America Sings attraction. And I remember the robotic president. And of course, Jack Sparrow. What's the name?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Thank you. Yeah. America Sings operated in the rotating theater building until 1988, which later housed attractions like Innovations and Superhero HQ. Ooh. The ghost story reflects an effort to process grief and loss, portraying Debbie as a protective spirit. Debbie's story highlights the intersection of workplace safety and human resilience in the face of tragedy. Disneyland's ghost stories, like Debbie's, continue to intrigue and captivate guests and employees. Debbie's legend endures as a reminder of vigilance and compassion in the workplace. The building where the accident occurred has undergone many transformations, yet Debbie's story remains tied to this history. Well, look at that.
You're welcome.
George of Pirates of the Caribbean. It's the Caribbean. It's not the Caribbean. It's the Caribbean. I should know these things, but, I'm not from that island. Over in Disney World, Pirates of the Caribbean ride has its own special resident, George, a welder who reportedly died during the ride's construction. Cast members greet him daily with "Good morning, George," and bid him farewell at night, believing that failure to do so might disrupt the ride. Is George's spirit really causing malfunctions, or is it just another piece of Disney's magical lore? George's legend involved a tragic death during the ride's construction, though details may vary and lack evidence. Cast members have reported ghostly figures, mysterious footsteps, and phantom phone calls on the ride. Saying good morning or good night to George is believed to keep the ride running smoothly. Supposedly, George halts the ride if someone says, "I don't believe in George." There's no proof George existed, making him a classic piece of Disney folklore. The California version of Pirates of the Caribbean once used real bones as props, adding to the eerie tale surrounding the ride. George's story highlights the creativity and myth-making of Disney attractions. Unlike sinister spirits, George is portrayed as a protective and respectful presence. The tale captures the imagination of both cast members and park visitors, enriching Disney experience. George embodies the blending of reality and fantasy that defines the Disney parks. But wait a second, I didn't know they use real bones. Real bones of what and whom? Do you know?
People, they use like cadavers. They only use them for a short amount of time, the very beginning of the ride.
If I don't want to donate my body to science, I will have things signed about, I want to be donated to like Six Flags, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as they're, taking care of the funeral arrangements and my family doesn't have to pay, I'm good with that.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right. Mr. One Way and Disco Debbie. Okay. I'm like, I have never heard of these things. This is wild. All right. At Disneyland Space Mountain, guests have shared tales of two ghosts. The first, Mr. One Way, appears as a red-haired man or a boy in 1970s attire who vanishes mid-ride. Then there's Disco Debbie, a glowing figure seen during the ride's darkest moments. While their existence is unverified, these stories add an otherworldly thrill to the already exhilarating ride. Mr. One Way is said to haunt Space Mountain at Disneyland, appearing either as a red-haired man or a boy, 70s clothing. The boy version interacts with guests in line, while the red-haired man remains silent. Mr. One Way allegedly boards ride cars from the exit platform and disappears before the final tunnel. Really? The second ghost on Space Mountain, Disco Debbie, is described as glowing in the dark, adding a supernatural to the ride. The boy version,
glowing in the dark.
Yeah, I glow in the dark stuff, but I don't like my objects moving. I should be able to tack it to a wall, stationary, the end. Anything going, I'm out. I need my asthma medication. I'm done. The boy version of Mr. One Way reportedly has no knowledge of Disneyland post-1970s, tying his legend to a specific era. Video and anecdotal evidence, from park goers fuel the legend, though none are confirmed. Like George of Pirates of the Caribbean, Mr. One Way story is likely creative fabrication. The tales capture the imaginations of guests, enhancing the thrill of Disneyland's attractions. Space Mountain's ghost stories add to its mystique as one of Disneyland's most iconic rides. These legends demonstrate how urban myths become part of Disneyland's enduring magic. The monorail. The monorail at Disneyland has its own tragic tale. In 1966, 19-year-old Thomas Cleveland was struck and killed by a tram while sneaking into the park. First of all, your ass shouldn't have been sneaking in no park. What?
Right.
To see a ghostly figure walking the monorail tracks at night, vanishing just as the tram approaches. Whether a spectral warning or a figment of imagination, this story serves as a haunting reminder of the dangers of reckless actions. Witnesses report a spectral figure near the monorail track at night, disappearing when the tram approaches. The ghost behavior mirrors the tragic circumstances of Cleveland's fatal accident. Like Dolly and Debbie Stone, the monorail ghost adds a layer of haunting intrigue to Disneyland's history. The story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unsafe actions. The monorail ghost is said to only appear under the cover of darkness. What darkness? But okay. The legend demonstrates how real events are woven into urban folklore, creating compelling narratives. The monorail ghost joins a pantheon of Disneyland ghost stories that blend tragedy with the supernatural. While entertaining as a ghost story, The tale underscores the consequences of risky behavior. Ooh, it's a small world.
Oh, I hate that ride.
Look, when they're on,
I've never been a fan.
and the
Ever.
mouth is dangling and they're singing, look. I was like, ooh,
that's lost with the word.
yeah, it's interesting. All right. In 1999, guests were mysteriously evacuated from Disneyland. It's a small world ride. During the evacuation, a photograph surfaced showing what appeared to be a figure hanging from the ceiling. Was it a misplaced animatronic, a trick of the light, or something paranormal? The mystery remains unsolved, taking this one to the park's most curious ghost stories. Now, first of all, okay, others suggest the figure might be an animatronic or visual anomaly. The lack of clear answers fuels the story's enduring appeal among Disney's fans and paranormal enthusiasts. Like other Disneyland ghost stories, this tale blends mystery, imagination, and intrigue. The story reflects the human tendency to craft narratives around unexplained phenomena. It's a Small World gains a unique, eerie edge through its haunting tale, contrasting its cheerful theme. The anomaly in the photograph remains unexplained, adding to its mystique. The tale underscores Disneyland's knack for fostering legends that enrich the guest experience. Now, first of all, it's 1999, and people are being evacuated from Disneyland because someone thinks, where did this photograph come from? That's what I'm saying. Because in 1999, we all had cameras that had film. We didn't have cameras.
You had to take it in, and you had to.
So the only thing you could do at that time, for the most part, if I can recall, is a big, huge, bulky Polaroid camera. That'd be the only way you could stop and have people evacuate, which would probably take an hour to get everybody out, that they saw something hanging. So that doesn't make any.
I don't know, but the ride itself is creepy because I don't like dolls to begin with. Never have. I don't even own one. Poor clowns.
Nah.
But when you go through the ride, they're just like they all feel like they're staring at you. They're out there.
They are a bunch of them too. But when they look like use some of those characters as a country fair, I can't find the word I'm looking for, where you throw things at it to win a stuffed animal. And like I said, their jaw comes loose or the eye is all googling and whatnot. Oh, it's nauseating. It's nauseating. You're like, just let this boat go by quicker. I'm ready to get off here. All right.
Our final stop takes us to Disney World's now abandoned water park, River Country. Once a family favorite, it was marred by multiple tragedies, including a fatal drowning and a brain-eating infection. Its closure in 2001, the park has been left to decay, with its eerie remains said to be haunted by the past. So River County opened in 1976 as a rustic nature-themed water park. A 1980 amoeba infection, a young boy's fatal infection, highlighted the risks of untreated natural water.
Ooh.
So in 1982, there was a water slide lawsuit. A child's drowning after a fall from the water slide led to legal challenges against Disney. In 1989, there was a pool drowning. The drowning of a 13-year-old boy raised questions about lifeguard training and emergency procedures. In 2001, River Country shut its gates permanently, citing attendance decline and competition for the newer water parks. The tragedy spotlighted the dangers of natural water use and prompted scrutiny of the water park's safety measures. The park's deserted state stands as a haunting reminder of controversial history. Despite its tragedies, River Country remains an iconic part of Disney World's early histories. I never knew about that water park.
So wait a second. Is this like, if you were to Google Earth, is it the plot of land right next to Disney that's like permanently gated off? There's alligators.
It's probably it.
I didn't know there was that many issues over there. I thought after one tragic incident with a 2 or 5-year-old or whatever, they closed it down. I didn't know there was way more than this.
All right. I don't know. It's crazy. Here are some honorable mentions. The Tower of Terror and its haunted doll Caesar, known for causing mechanical malfunctions. The spirits of two brothers who drowned on the Tom Sawyer Island are now said to linger in whispers and shadows. And Splash Mountain, where workers report strange occurrences since its closure for a re-theme of Bayou Adventure. So there you have it, 9 Disney park ghost stories that reveal a darker side to the magic. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these tales show that the happiest place on earth have their mysteries. Thank you for tuning in to Half Haunted. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, leave us a review. Until next time, stay curious and stay haunted.